Hello everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Sam. I'm an intuitive and I have a bunch of different decks here that you are going to just love. You're going to love them. So, first we got Wisdom from the Epics of Hind. See what wants to come out for you. Yama's Justice. We pull this like a weird amount on the channel, you guys. For the artwork, we pull this a weird amount. We're doing a spread. Just this one. Okay, that's an energy. That's an energy and a half. Reading from the book. Oh, we're going intuitive on this art. You're taking yourself by the horns. I'm just kidding. So there might be something here about your shadow being quite powerful, powerfully suggestive. I have a Taurus moon, so I'm in no way criticizing the Taurus energy, but with this bull, I'm just sort of getting, there are these flames underneath it, and it still looks very somewhere on the spectrum of comfortable to stubborn about not moving, just like, no, I mean, I see the fire, but this is also my home, so I'm not going anywhere. I'm comfortable here. If it burns, it burns. And there's a sense that like your shadow may be the only thing that's able to motivate it to move, or your shadow holds the piece of the puzzle to get it to shift. This stuck energy. It could be from stubbornness, it could be from comfortability where you're at. But I think the best way to describe it for all of you is just stuck or stagnant. There's a stuckness, and your shadow holds the keys to moving it. And you may be someone who's like, Sam, I'm on a spiritual journey. My shadow is not at the reins here. But keep in mind that we're paired with our shadow for a reason. There are things that the shadow can show us. And in some cases, you don't always want to have the shadow at the reins, that's for sure. I don't even want to say usually. You should use the darkness, but be guided by the light. Work with the shadow, but be guided by your higher self. That's always my advice. But there's something here about like, for this time, this thing, whatever this is, you'll be okay to give your shadow the reins a little bit more, or to move from some shadowy motivations, perhaps. Qué interesante. Okay. Anything else from this deck? Okay. Typically, I got my storybook deck here, and typically this comes out at the end of the reading to give some advice. But this is a second deck out, so we'll see what it has to say. Harry and Hagrid at the vault in Gringotts. Okay, so in this context, there's some sort of abundance that you can access, but this can be in the form of hidden talents, of gifts, of spiritual gifts, even. Like typically, in Harry Potter, he doesn't realize that he's, in the wizarding world quite wealthy, and he has this vault full of hereditary treasure. So typically this comes out in my readings to suggest that you have spiritual gifts that are waiting for you to access. And usually this is sort of a fortune that's been set aside for you by your ancestors. So there's this fortune, and what you need to do is unlock the vault. The next step is to find the key to your vault. There's a very insistent energy coming through on my end. I just want you guys to know. Very physical, very insistent. Darker. And I get this because like the darker energies are less like polite at the doorway. They're the way it tends to be. They more just sort of barge in or want in. They're banging on the door. They're not knocking. So you have to find the key to this vault. The question here is like, who do you work with? Who's your Hagrid, your guide, your mentor? And there's a hint here that you may have to go pretty deep underground. This can be the underworld or your own subconscious. And you may have to work with a goblin or two. And this can be your shadow or darker spiritual forces, by which I just mean like not your typical idea of love and light. I don't mean like go summon in demons right off the bat or anything like that. That is not the advice here. But sometimes we assume that all of the darker energies that come knocking at our door are not for our highest good. But this comes out to suggest, like with what I was intuitively getting from this one is for your highest good, even if it looks a little darker. Most likely your own shadow, an aspect of yourself. Yeah. That's card number 22. Okay, anything else from here? I'm good on that. All right, cool. We're going to check out some Oracle of Destiny for you guys. The Oracle of Destiny, and we got Destiny. Check out that lucky energy. I love it. More from here. From the book. Okay, we're just going intuitive again. So these two energies together, you might be like, Sam, how do these two energies go together? And here's what I'll say. I don't know. I'm just shooting from the hip here. But I'm getting pushback. Like, no, you're not. You're so guided, which I appreciate. What I want to say is we can't discover our true destiny without our shadow. We certainly don't unlock the spiritual gold mine without it. Like, no way, no how. The most useful way I've been taught to think about the shadow is that, like, your higher self chose it. They're like it's like a buddy cop movie with the higher self and the shadow. And to solve the mystery, they each bring their own unique flair that together, I mean, it's just perfect. Like, it's divine. Even if you're like, Sam, you don't know what my shadow has done. It's totally cool. There's no judgment. No judgment. Like, this could be a dark, deep, sexual shadow that you have here. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't have things to show you. And it could point you in directions which wind up being very lucky for you, that show you things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to find if you were being purely guided by the highest self at all times, or if you never were to explore this space, this darker, I want to say more carnal space. Yeah. Anything else from this? Okay, yeah. I mean, I like this. This is what's being pointed out to me. So there's a lot of straight lines in here that seem to be dividing different aspects of the leaves or the hand here. This straight line, which in sacred geometry is like the masculine element, straight lines. And then the curvature is more feminine. There's this, in the fertile farmland here, in the outside of the leaves, and in the entwining of these elements, what we have is, the entwining of the higher self and the lower self. We have the feminine aspect as well. So there's this reminder that we think of these things as polarities, and we tend towards one and avoid the other. But they're actually different aspects of the same thing. They are mutually dependent upon one another. You can't have the darkness without the light. You can't have the masculine without the feminine, the more doing principle without the more receptive. You can't have the highest self without the shadow. Yeah, it's even in the four-leaf clover here. The very symbol of luck has the masculine lines and the equal arm cross, and then the curvature and the little hearts that form the leaves of the clover. There's some there's some magic which is best worked from the lower chakras, that gains its power there, its fertility there, from the dark, shadowy spaces. And sometimes that magic is what you need to unlock a vault. Sorry, I'm just asking about other cards. I think that is complete advice in and of itself. Okay, they're wanting another Oracle Destiny. I'll grab you one of those. Mercury. So I think I know what this is, but we're going to read from the book. Okay, we're going to read the aspect of the hand. So Mercury, this deck is about palmistry, and Mercury rules the pinky finger here. The pinky finger is that of intuition, dialectical and commercial skills, but also of the relationship with one's family of origin, with the tight carnal relationship with one another. Carnal, guys. That's great. And finally, with one's inner child. It is connected to the god Mercury, who appears frequently in mythological tales. Many of his attributes are recognizable in the personality of the archetypal Mercurian. He is famous for the wings of his sandals, which made him the messenger of the gods. I just want to be careful here because there's the relationship with one's family of origin, and then in the same breath with the tight carnal relationship with another. More cards? Yeah, we're going to pull more. I don't want to misspeak on this. Mercury is the god of a lot of things. Destiny, absence. Check that out. First time this is coming out on the channel. All right, I'm being asked to intuit this. All right, guys. In a nutshell, here's what I think is happening. So I was talking about certain kinds of magic are best performed from the lower chakras, from the more earthy, carnal spaces, the lower spaces. I'm just, I'm going to call it as I sees it. I think this is about sex magic, and someone is hearing that and is like, "Whoa, Sam, that's like demon stuff. That's the worst, right?" What we're presented here with is the left hand and the right hand path in magic. And the left hand path is the one that involves the more nefarious side of magic, the more egoically driven magic, um, you know, also baneful magic, right? Um, and someone might lump sex magic into the left hand path and say, like, that's not for me. I'm drawing a firm line over that, and I'm never going to do that. But you know, the O method of manifestation is a thing, and that is a kind of sex magic, believe it or not. And this might be something that you want to look into as a method of manifestation. Magic is just a whole system to bring about our manifestations, to manipulate energy. And manipulate is just like work with in this sense, right? Manipulate energy to bring about our manifestations in a more direct way. And yeah, I hear sex magic, those words being thrown around a lot in readings as being nefarious, like someone's doing sex magic on you. And I actually don't know what that would look like on the left hand path if they're doing some. I don't know, because I only really know about it in terms of the right hand path. It's a little shadowy to be doing sex magic at all, but that doesn't make it nefarious or ill intentioned. Um, it doesn't even make it egoic. Let me just throw that out there. You could do sex magic for egoic ends, um, but there's some encouragement here that it's the same as anything else. Mercury is, you know, the magician in a lot of senses. Like Hermes Trismegistus is the energy here. Hermetic magic is underpins a lot of Western magical systems. And this is a very direct way to tap into. Like, if you're like, I don't know anything about magic, Sam, look into the O method of manifestation. And, you know, if you have the sacral energy to spare, try it out. You might be extremely surprised how quickly things manifest um, with that intention and action behind it. And it might shift you out of some stuck energy and into something like your shadow might just move you out of the flames into a better place through this. If nothing else, you know, you tried something new. Um, I'm trying to decide if I want this video to be some sort of like advice or tutorial what I think I will do is link another video in the description box that will teach you more. Um, like with any other form of manifestation, what is most important is to focus on the feelings that you want to manifest in that magic moment, shall we say, rather than anything concrete or physical. Try to focus on the feelings it will elicit, and that will get you places. You can always experiment with it and try for something more concrete. You might be surprised by how well that works. All right, in any case, I think this is where I leave you to do some magic. Yeah, see what you can manifest. We good here on the cards? Okay, great. All right, guys. Yeah, some energy is trying to get you unstuck. That's why it's here. And I feel like it will. The energy has lightened up a lot. So I think message delivered and successfully executed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take good care.